So, when was the last time you spent 20 minutes writing a 2 or 3 sentence email? Not because it was complicated, but because you couldn't trust that your words sounded right. You drafted it, deleted it, asked AI to rewrite it, then asked someone if the AI version was maybe too formal. 20 minutes for 2 sentences. You've written college essays faster than that. And the whole time, you knew this was ridiculous, but you couldn't stop yourself. That's what we'll call her Sarah told me was happening to her. She came to me with what she called the most embarrassing problem I've ever had, which, if it really is, she hasn't been that embarrassed, I don't think. But she'd gotten a job offer, better title, more money, work she'd actually be excited about, and had 2 weeks to decide. Except she couldn't. So the offer expired. That was about 6 months ago. And she was still stuck, not on the decision anymore, but on what it meant to her. Everyone told me it was obvious, she said. My boyfriend said, obviously take it. My best friend couldn't understand what the holdup was. My mom, confused why this was even a question. So she stopped telling people about it. She stopped talking to them because what was she supposed to say? I couldn't decide, so I lost it. 6 months later, she was still lying awake at 2 a.m. thinking, what's wrong with me? Why couldn't I just pick one? That's what was really killing her and really bothering her. It wasn't just that she'd lost the opportunity. It was that she still didn't know if she would have taken it. Even with 6 months to think about it, after the fact, she still couldn't figure out if it would have been the right move. 6 months. Some people plan weddings in less time. She told me, I feel like I'm broken or something's messed up. Like there's something fundamentally wrong with my brain. Normal people don't do this, she said. Well, what was actually happening? Sarah wasn't broken. She didn't need fixed. It's just her thinking muscle had atrophied. Every morning, she'd wake up and ask AI to draft her emails for her. Not complicated ones, the simple ones. And then she'd say, hey, can you make this sound professional? Is this too casual? Does this make sense? She couldn't trust her own words anymore when she had to write them. And that's why one day she spent 20 minutes on a 2 sentence email to a coworker, drafted it, had AI rewrite it, then asked her boyfriend if the AI version was a little too formal. Her boyfriend, about a work email to someone he'd never met. She knew it was ridiculous, but she couldn't stop. I mean, Spotify, the algorithms there picked her music. Instagram told her what to buy, where to eat, and what made her cool. She'd taken every personality test she could find. Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, Strength Finders, those Facebook quizzes that tell you what type of bread you are. Looking for someone, anyone, even a quiz, to tell her who she was and who she should be. And when it came time to make a real decision, a decision that truly mattered to her, she did what she always did. She gathered more information. She made spreadsheets and diagrams, pros and cons lists, asked 12 different people what they thought. 12. It's not research, that's polling. She researched company reviews, compared salaries, looked up her potential new boss on LinkedIn, probably checked their Instagram too, maybe looked at their college roommates' dogs' TikTok. Who knows at this point? She had more data than she could ever process, even with AI. But she still couldn't decide. And every day that went by, the shame got heavier. Her friends stopped asking her about it. The silence was worse than the questions. By the time the deadline hit and the offer expired, she kind of felt relieved. Not because she'd made a choice, but because she didn't have to choose anymore. That relief lasted about 3 whole days. Then she said the regret set in. And 6 months later, she was still stuck in it. So what happened? What she didn't see at the time was that she wasn't waiting for more information. She was waiting for certainty. She was waiting for someone or something to tell her this is the right choice. You won't regret this. You won't fail. It won't be a mistake. Basically, waiting for a guarantee that doesn't exist because there isn't a warranty for life decisions. Well, not career decisions, not in relationships, frankly, not in anything that matters. And because she'd outsourced her own thinking to algorithms, assessments, and other people's opinions for so long, when she needed to generate her own clarity, when she needed to trust her own judgment on something uncertain, she couldn't. She'd lost the ability to decide without proof. She'd lost her faith. It was like her brain had forgotten it was allowed to have an opinion without a full peer-reviewed study backing it up. That's what I see with a lot of people who feel stuck despite being tremendously capable. You know what to do. You just can't make yourself do it. Now, that's not laziness. That's not procrastination. It's definitely not lack of discipline. Frankly, it's just dissonance. And let me show you what I mean. Dissonance is the gap between what you want and what's actually going on, what you're actually doing. Your brain is processing conflicting signals about what matters. So with Sarah, part of her said, take the job. This is what you've been working toward. This is the opportunity you wanted. Another part said, but what if you fail? What if you're not actually ready? What if everyone realizes that you don't belong there? And then there was this other part that said, listen, just stay where you are. It's safe. You know how to do this job. Why risk it? It's like having a committee meeting in your head, except all the committee members are you, and none of them can agree on anything. 3 different perspectives, 3 different parts of her, all pulling in different directions. Her heart knew she wasn't aligned at her current job. She'd wake up Monday morning with this heaviness feeling, this sense of, is this really it? Her hands were good at her job. She delivered. She got results. Paycheck was good. Her head couldn't prove the new job was the right move. No matter how much data she gathered, she couldn't eliminate the uncertainty. And her head was acting like that person in the group project who keeps saying, but what if we're wrong? Until finally everyone gives up. And when your heart, your head, and your hands aren't aligned, when they're all pulling you in different directions, you're stuck. You freeze. Not because you're broken, because your brain doesn't know which signal to follow. And she's not alone in this. There's research showing that 73% of millennials report decision paralysis, despite having more information than any generation in history. More information doesn't help when different parts of you are pulling in different directions. It just gives you more spreadsheets to make and more people to pull. So what happened with Sarah? On our call, we mapped out what was actually happening in her thinking. We didn't add more information. We looked at which part of her was getting the loudest voice and whether that one was actually serving her and her goals. Her head was screaming for proof, for certainty, for logic that would eliminate the risk. But career decisions don't work that way. There's always risk and there's always uncertainty. 20 minutes in a call, something shifted. And she said, oh, and there was this pregnant pause. You could just feel it. She said, I don't need to prove to myself that it's the right move. I just want to move towards where I want to be in the next year or 3 years or 5 years from now. So questions are what helps you move. She asked a different question. Instead of, can I prove this is right? She asked, does this move me towards what I'm building and who I want to become? Her heart could answer that. Her head couldn't. The offer had already gone. She couldn't get it back. What could she do? Well, she stopped asking, did I make the wrong choice? Did I make a mistake? And she started asking, what do I actually want to build? Who do I want to be? 3 weeks later, she applied to a couple companies she'd been too scared to even consider before. She got offers from both. And this time, she decided within 48 hours. Not because she had more data. She wasn't waiting for proof anymore. She was believing in herself. She told me 6 months after that, it was the best career move I've ever made, not the job itself. The fact that I trusted my own thinking to get there. So I want you to notice if Sarah's story sounds uncomfortably familiar, if you're sitting here thinking, that's me, that's what's happening, you've just lost your voice. You've lost your trust in your own thinking. You've stopped listening to your heart. And the way back isn't more information. It isn't another personality test. And honestly, you don't need to know what kind of bread you are. It's not asking 3 more people what they think. The way back is reconnecting to your own cognitive capacity, learning which of those voices in your head is the purest and clearest. And that's what your private strategy call is designed for. We take one decision, maybe that you're stuck on or just struggling with, just one, and we walk through it using your actual thinking patterns from your VQMe report. We don't give you more information. We show you how you're processing the information you already have. And once you see the pattern creating the friction, you can shift it. And that's the work. Not gathering more data, not more spreadsheets, not more polls. It's shifting your thinking at its source. So pause for a second. If you're feeling seen right now, like I just described your internal experience, drop a comment below this video. Just say, yeah, this is me. Listen, no one's going to ridicule you for it. It won't go viral or be on America's Funniest Home Videos with a cat sliding down the ice. You're not alone in this. A lot of people in this community are dealing with the exact same pattern. Your, hey, me too, might just give someone else permission and the courage to move forward. All right, in our next lesson, we're going to talk about why all of your connections feel surface level and why you can be hyper-connected and yet sometimes feel completely alone at the same time. But again, before you move on, if you want to apply this to your actual situation, if you got a decision you're stuck on or you want to map your thinking around it, the link to book your private VQMe call is right below this video. So be sure you click that and book your call. Let's go.